Jasmine Tukes wore Zuhair Murad to her Enchanted secret garden wedding in Ecuador. Jasmine Tukes and Juan David Barrero met through their jobs in 2016. Juan works at Snapchat as the director of international markets, and the social media app was getting ready to launch a new feature called Group Stories. The company wanted to hire Jasmine and her friends to promote it. We all happened to be in LA for a fashion show, so I went to lunch with Juan and a couple other Snapchat employees, Jasmine remembers. Following the lunch, Juan invited me to a birthday party the same night. There was a natural attraction to each other, and we kept in touch since that night, and the rest is history. Once they began dating, Jasmine and Juan started taking a trip every year to celebrate their anniversary. Last year, Juan used this upcoming trip as a Trojan horse of sorts and surprised Jasmine with a proposal. On the morning of September 21st, 2020, he took me to pack my bags because we were going somewhere, recalls Jasmine. Our first stop was a restaurant called Rose Cafe where we met. From there, they got back in the car, and Juan blindfolded Jasmine until they pulled up to the airport. 40 minutes later, they landed in Utah and were transferred via helicopter to Almangiri. Before going to the hotel, we landed in between rocks in the middle of nowhere and sat and had champagne and charcuterie board, says Jasmine. I don't know what that is. A photographer hired to capture the moment disguised herself as a hotel staff member, and she told us to check out the lookout point after we were finished with our champagne. Once we walked up there, I looked down on the ground, and written there was, "Will you marry me?" And I was in complete shock. It was the sweetest, most thoughtful proposal that I could have ever imagined. Jasmine and Juan celebrated their wedding in Quito, Ecuador, over Labor Day weekend, and despite the myriad of logistical problems the pandemic has caused when it comes to weddings, the planning process was surprisingly straightforward. Luckily, all panned out okay, as vaccines have been quickly distributed in Ecuador. I also have always dreamed of planning a wedding and secretly wished that I was an event planner. Jasmine reveals, I enjoyed it every step of the way, and she worked with Carolina Muzo, who is based in Ecuador, on everything from the creative to the logistics, and everyone who attended was vaccinated, and guests were tested twice throughout the weekend. Carolina was such an angel, and on top of every detail, notes Jasmine, the Botania Flower Boutique and David Vasquez design supplemented Carolina's work by creating stunning florals for both the ceremony and the reception that followed. From the beginning, Jasmine knew she wanted to wear Zuhair Murad on her wedding day, and I wanted him to make my dress from the moment I walked into his first couture show, she said. I sent him my inspiration, and he drew up the most beautiful and timeless dress that I've ever seen. The train was 15 feet long, and the overall look was quite dramatic, so Jasmine kept her jewelry simple, wearing only diamond earrings by Ratani and her engagement ring. Her shoes were custom white satin heels by Sarah Flint. For beauty, she worked with Leah Pike and Russian Nurev, who do her hair and makeup almost every event she attends. Juan wore a double-breasted tuxedo by Armani, and we both wanted to be as classic and traditional as we could with our outfits, says the bride. Jasmine's wedding party wore sage dresses by Saleh, and they were so kind to keep with making all of my bridesmaids feel extra special, says Jasmine. They accessorized with jewelry by Jasmine's dear friend Shari of By Shari. On Saturday, the ceremony took place in a Catholic church in the heart of Quito.